I'm back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change, and just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchanged something, and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts, because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt, because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy, because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life, because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you, with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in a box. Society tries to put you in a box, but you can't be in a box. How can you be in a box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me, because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.
What up, what up, what up? What's going on, family? And we are back. Man, I could not wait to see y'all this week, because when I found out who the guest was and I got to see a little bit inside of her life, she doesn't know it. Because you know me, I like to keep it raw, real, authentic. I don't like to have questions pre-made. I just like you to get it from the individual just as they give it. And they direct the show. They lead it. But I kind of had to go when I saw and heard what she does. I'm like, I got to go do a little stalking. I was all on the Facebook page. I'm like, this is amazing. I couldn't believe the stuff that I was seeing. So I had to be like, no. I got to bring her on. I got to have her on, because, hey, when you hear her life testimony, when she just becomes so transparent and tells you what her purpose is and how it just drives her to be greater and greater every day. Not only does she realize that she no longer is in the box, she created a whole new world for herself. Now, I could keep going, but I cannot stop and hold up the show. I have to bring to you the one, the only, the amazing Miss
Lynn. Hi, everyone.
Nah, don't be trying to cover up all now like you shy.
I'm like a little taken back. Like, I just had to catch myself for a minute, because I was not expecting an introduction like that. So trying to take it all in.
I don't know why you didn't expect it. Nothing else than that.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things, like, I guess just with everything I've been through, it's kind of like it's hard to see sometimes that other people see me as an inspiration, so it's like trying to take all that in. It's like, whew, okay, like, wow, like people really look at me, that like little old me from Georgia, like little old Lynn. So it's an adjustment, but yeah.
I don't know why you don't understand. Okay. Let me ask you this. So if you had to say, because I'm one of those people, I'm a superhero guy. I like all superheroes, action. Who would be one of your favorite superheroes if you could just name anybody?
Superheroes?
Or somebody you look up to?
You know what? I think Iyanla Vanzant.
Who? I didn't hear what you said.
I said Iyanla Vanzant.
And why would you pick her?
She kind of reminds me a little bit of myself. As far as for her background, her story, some of the things and experiences that she's gone through in life, and how God used all of that to be able to bring her to the person that she is today, to be able to help inspire a lot of people, be able to help people within their healing journeys and everything. So it's crazy because I watch her like all the time to be able to try to get like inspiration or whatever. So yeah.
You just answered your own question. So just like you see that inspiration in her, people look at you and see that same exact inspiration because you resonate with them through so many ways. Well, hold on, let me go back because I can see how you inspire me, and what I saw that I was like, I can resonate with that. But in order for everybody else, let's go back to the beginning. First. Before we even get there, I don't know if you saw that, but somebody is watching you right now. They are saying good morning from KLIA. And for those of you that don't know where KLIA is, that is Malaysia Airport in Kuala Lumpur. So I don't know if y'all know how huge that is. Miss Lynn has people already all around the world tuning in from Malaysia, looking at you because, hey, the inspiration came. Somebody, it said, God bless you and your family. That inspiration has led them and connected you so far. You worldwide. But for them to even understand where the inspiration comes from, can you tell the viewers, who is Miss Lynn?
Well, I am from Georgia, born and raised, but I currently live in South Carolina. And let's see, I have a 9-year-old daughter, who is a part of my inspiration as well. And I don't know if you want me to really dive into like how I got to where I am at right now.
This is your show.
Okay.
This your show.
So basically, I worked medical claims for 5 years, and I started a hobby in 2019, just playing around with like different crafts or whatever. The first thing I think I did was like a wine glass, and it was like, it was all right. It was just very basic. It was very basic, but just trying to take a stab at trying to do something different or whatever. So start off as that, but then I noticed myself wanting to try to learn other things. So I started teaching myself how to make t-shirts, just, watching different YouTube videos or whatever. And I just taught myself or whatever. So once I really saw like, okay, I might like have like a little something here or whatever. So beginning of 2020 is when I really started actually taking it seriously, and decided to, well, you know what, I could probably actually turn this into a business or whatever. So how I just started off with everything was I gave out a lot of free stuff. I would just hit different people up. I'm gonna be honest. I would just hit different people up and be like, hey, can I make you like a t-shirt or something? It's for free. You don't have to pay anything. Just let me know what it is that you want on it, and I'll send it to you or whatever. So that actually is what helped to instill trust into people and really show people that, I provided a great quality along as well. So once I did that, it's like my business, I'm not gonna lie, it took off. Like it really took off. People really started gravitating to my different products and everything. And so things went like really good for a long time. And then May of last year, I lost my sister. She was 23 at the time. So after we lost her, it's like everything just plummeted. Like I went way downhill. Like it was bad. Like I got into like a really bad headspace. So it's like a piece of me left with my sister. And it's like my creativity, it's like everything was just gone. So, the focus just wasn't there anymore. So I just decided to just give my business a break. And, just kind of just try to focus on me and myself and getting my mental health and everything together. I went to grief therapy, and after I did that, once I did grief therapy, it helped me out like tremendously. But once I did that, then I started delving back into my business. And this past June, this past June, God put me in a very uncomfortable position. Very uncomfortable. I mean, very uncomfortable. I won't get into all the specifics, but let's just say, just seemed like somebody was in both of my vehicles trying to look for something. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that instance there caused me to drive 5 hours all the way to my sister's house. I went to stay with her for a couple of days, not even realizing that God was setting that all up to get me to a 5-day prayer church service to start me on my healing journey. So I feel like I'm talking a lot. I'm kind of paused. Make sure you don't have any questions like that.
No, no,
Okay.
no. You go right on it. We want to hear your story. Hey, I'm just here. This is your show.
Okay. All right. So prayer week. Prayer week was amazing. I did realize that God had been trying to get into contact with me for a long time. And I hadn't been listening, hadn't been paying attention or anything. And basically, he was just telling me that if I was to just come back to him and just give him my yes, that he would ensure that my safety and all of my needs and everything will be taken care of. He had a plan for me. All he wanted me to do was just come back to him. That's it. That's it. So anyway, so June started my healing journey. And then August rolls around and I was prophesied to. And he said, you know what? He said, God is telling me that he's changing your career. And I was like, okay. He's like, you work from home? It's like, yeah, I work from home. He's like, mm-hmm. He's like, no, all that's about to change. And I was like, okay. It's like, God getting ready to change all of that. So I said, okay. So, I just kind of just waited around or whatever. And then he prophesied to me again, like maybe it was like a couple of weeks later, telling me the same thing again. He says, your career is about to change. It's going to change. It's like God's got way much better in store for you. All he needs you to do is just trust him. That's it. So I'm like, okay. It's like, you're going to be moving. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. Like, this is like way too much. I'm like, but okay. Like, I hear you, God. Like, I hear you. So anyway, so I was on I was on a call with a friend at the time. And she stated to me, she said, you know what, Lynn? She said, God told me to tell you that you are looking for stability and God is looking for your availability. I said, okay, you ain't got to say no more. I know what that means. Yeah. So that just let you know it's time. It's time. I said, okay. So August 12th, I decided to quit my job. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just go for it full time with my business. And I'm just going to trust God to meet all of my needs. And like, Lord, I relied on my job for like your income and stuff. So you're gonna have to
Yep.
make sure that you look out for. I'm quitting now. This is what you told me to do, and I'm being obedient. So I need for you to look out for us, sister. Now just look out, okay? So anyway, so after I quit my job, things was going pretty smoothly for my business. Then it's like I hit a stump. I'm like, just pause. Like, okay, what is going on? I thought it was something I did. Like, okay, did I do something wrong? Like, Lord, did I just like what did I do? Like, I'm like, I don't understand like what is going on. Like, why is my business so stagnant? I'm not making no money, like no nothing, like absolutely nothing. So anyway, so make a long story short, because I really feel like I'm just talking my head off. I understood that God had me to quit my job, and it was to be able to give him more time, but he needed to be able to help to heal me from the inside out, because I was very much damaged. And in order for him to properly help me, he needed to be able to have my full undivided attention. Only way he can have my full undivided attention is you got to let that job go. You got to let go of what no longer serves you. It doesn't. I understand that you need the job for a paycheck, but I can still provide for you. And it's like, it's weird because it's like, okay, I may not make any money or anything, but I don't know how, but I'll be like, but God, you still ensure that all of my needs are met. Now, I may not have extra to be able to go out here and do how I used to, but it's like, it doesn't even matter. As long as my needs are taken care of, the way that God has healed me from the inside out, I will take that over money any day of the week. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Whatever. So, yeah.
You saying that was pretty much it? Oh
Mhm.
my goodness!
Mhm.
You not gave us so much. Now, first off, want to say condolences, praying for you and your family on the loss of your sister.
Thank you.
That is a tragic thing for anybody, especially at such a young age.
Mhm.
So we're praying for you. Nothing but blessings coming your way. You just gave us. Hold on, we gotta go back because you gave us so much, and we're gonna speed up because we're gonna get back to that. You looking for stability, and God wants availability. We coming back to that. But first off, let's start because I want people to understand the journey that you have gone through, and something that seems like a long time, maybe for you, but what you just told us, that was a short period of time, and it happened so fast. And I want people to understand this. So you had a job in the medical field,
Mm-hmm.
and you were on that job that was providing you that stability that you were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you pick up that first glass? Because out of all the hobbies you could have chosen, like, are you already artistic? Or are you an artist or a creator? Like, what? Something had to happen. What was you walking in Target and you say, "Oh, that's a nice wine glass, but I can make it look better"? Like, was you drinking a glass of wine and say it might taste better if it was the glass was a little pretty? What made you pick up the first wine glass?
I was actually I used to watch. I came across this girl's YouTube channel. I think her name was D.O.P.E Essentials or something like that. But I came across one of her videos one day, and she literally could take a cardboard box and turn it into a beautiful diamond table. And I was just like, there is no way like this girl is. I was like, there's no way. I was like, what on earth? And so I just used to just sit around, and I literally got so obsessed with watching her videos. And then I called myself thinking that I could mimic her. And so I would go out and spend all this money on trying to do some of the things in which she was doing. That was an epic fail. And I was like, okay, yeah, Lynn, you're not that creative, darling. I'm sorry, honey, you just wasted a lot of money. Anywho, so I was like, okay, well, let's try like a different route or whatever. So I don't know. I think I must have came across some other type of video with somebody doing some kind of wine glasses or something. And then after I seen that, I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? A wine glass. I was like, that doesn't seem hard to do or whatever. And so it kind of just like went from there or whatever. But watching YouTube videos, need to stay off of you. But YouTube was my inspiration to be able to.
Now we touched on something we didn't notice because when we talked in the beginning, we was like superheroes and who do you look up? Who's your inspiration? And you literally just said it because so many people in the world are doing this today, and I want them to understand this. You have something inside of you. We all do. We all have a gift. We all have a purpose. It's inside of us. But in today's society, especially with social media, we look out on others and we try to mimic their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So many of us look up in the sky and we see a Superman or a Wonder Woman and we're like, man, I wish I can fly. Not knowing your gift might be the gift of speed, like the Flash. You can get to the destination in the same amount of time. One can fly with super speed, one can run really fast. But are you using your gift, your purpose? Are you watching others trying to mimic? And we have so many people trying to mimic that their gift is just going away, because what you're saying has nothing to do with the medical field. You picked up a glass, well, after you tried all the cardboard boxes, that wasn't working. All that money down the drain.
That was
just throwing money away. But you picked up this glass, and God said, okay, I know what we're doing, because he already knows the plan. And it took off. But somewhere along the line, and we're going to get to it, your stability changed a little bit. And you got that much further away, because we all do it. I'm just as guilty. I want everybody to listen how Lynn broke her story down. We get a little stability the way we want it, and we get further and further away from God. And Lynn already said, you're losing that availability. He finds a way to humble us. It's never the way we want it to be. If you find one person out there that gets humbled in a positive way, let me know, because I want to meet them. I want to meet them. Now, in Lynn's case, it was a tragic event for her family, but God has to find ways to sit us down, and it's never the way we want it to. Now, I have this question that's coming up from something you said, because so many of us need it. What was that key factor that made you say, hey, I need to go talk to somebody else, that therapy? Because we always, especially in our community, we bypass the therapy route. We figure we can put it on our shoulders and handle it all. What was that deciding factor that said, I need to go talk to somebody?
Me realizing that I really couldn't make it out. I really couldn't make it through a day without having a breakdown. Literally, like every single day, every day I was having a breakdown. And I guess within my family, we've never had an immediate death within our family. So I didn't really understand how to understand how to deal with everything that I was feeling. And it's like, okay, even though like, I might have this sister or that sister to talk to, to try to be able to get through the day, it's like still, okay, I still have those moments at night where it's just me, and I'm like, okay, how do I deal with this? Like, I was at my rope's end. I really didn't know what else to do. At moments, I'll be honest. Now, my relationship, what I have now with God, was definitely not like this then. It was not. Not saying I steered away from God, even though I would have my moments with Him, but it wasn't to the effect of what it needed to be.
Yeah.
So even though like I would have my moments where I would just turn on some gospel music or something and I would just cry through that, it was just still not enough. And I was like, this is not working. Like, I have a daughter that I have to take care of, and, and trying to make sure that, that it's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to try to block off how you really feel and what you're going through away from your kids. Cause it's like, your kids can still pick up on stuff. They know when you're going through stuff. Like, they're no fools. They're not. And, I would notice, like, if I find myself just say in the living room and I'm just crying away, then I hear her getting ready to walk in, and then I just try to get myself together right quick. Then, she might just walk over to me, try to act like she don't notice that I'm crying, but she'll just come and just lay on me and just give me a hug or something. But it was just, I just knew that my mental was going downhill very bad, very badly. And I was like, you know what? I I I didn't really so much know anything about grief therapy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't really understand or know if people can really actually help you through stuff like this. Like, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot and just see. As a matter of fact, I believe I reached out to Usher, and I talked with him about it first. And he was talking about I think how his wife, how she kind of, I think she did something similar or whatever. So he just kind of encouraged me to just, just try to go out and do the same or whatever. So so I just did some research on some different therapies within the area. I ended up choosing a group therapy thing, and it was one of the best decisions I could have made. It absolutely was. And it's not even like so much of a thing that they teach. It's not even trying to teach you how to, because you'll never get over it. You'll never get over it. But it's all about how you can cope to live with it. Yes. And how you can get your emotions under control. When you find yourself veering off a little bit, what are some different techniques and tips that you can do in order to be able to get yourself back on track? So I think that was really more so of what helped me, and it helps me to this day. Like, I have my moments, and everything, but through those moments I'm able to pray and ask God to help me through them, allow myself to sit in it. I will cry it out to be able to feel those emotions, so it doesn't all bottle up or whatever. I'll just sit in it. I allow myself to feel it. I allow it to come back up, and then I release it out, and I'm back fine or whatever. So if anybody has experienced loss, I most definitely would recommend therapy. I most definitely will. I know a lot of people, they don't like to go that route. So they feel like they can't trust anybody. And listen, bump all that. Like, seriously, your mental health is important, because if you can't be right for yourself, you can't be right for anybody else.
So. Ooh. I couldn't have said that better. If you're not right with yourself, you cannot be right for somebody else. And I like how you put that, because throughout this, and we hear it all the time, you said like you didn't know you were that inspiration to somebody else, but you found inspiration in others. You had found inspiration in YouTube. Like, we all find these different methods, where it be motivation, inspiration, like things to get us going. Mm-hmm. But when things aren't going right, we never go seek out that help. But you just explained to us that the same way we can go find people when things are going great, when things are not going so great, we still need to use that same avenue of going to seek somebody else. Because the same way you have that superpower or that purpose inside of you, that person that inspires you has that superpower and motivation and thing inside of them. But you also have people that God has given the gift to, right? And their purpose is to help you when you're in those times of need. Because like you said, we've all been guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Those times when we kind of veer away and we get farther from God, like, He has people in place to help us reconnect and come back. Because you said it yourself, you lost focus. And last time I checked, when you don't have focus, you can't go nowhere. You're just sitting there. It's like you're sitting blindly. You don't know which way to go. Yeah. And like, so you just
literally, seriously, like, I couldn't, my focus was just not there. I'm like, I'm working, but it's like I'm not. It's like my body is here, but actually I'm not. And it's one of the weirdest things to try to explain if you've never gone through it. So yeah.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask you, because we went from 5 years medical, then your career takes off, your hobby, as you quoted it, takes off. Then you have to go to a period of downness where you're going through things. when you get to that point, what was that light switch that flipped on for you that started getting you back in the mode of, okay, it's time to get going again. I'm feeling it. I can start to see the vision starting to come back to me. What was that moment and how did it start transitioning for you?
It had to be, I had one little light switch moment right after right after her passing. I actually had gotten the opportunity to do merch for a very well-known social media influencer, and brought a lot of money in. Yeah. But with that, it was always a kind of like an up and down thing with that as well. So I want to say I probably didn't really start back taking it seriously until sometime the beginning. Had to be sometime this year.
Okay.
Had to be sometime beginning of this year. I'm trying to think maybe what was I don't want to lie and say if I remember what the light switch moment was. I just knew that it was just time. Like you just can't. You know what? It probably was after my grief therapy. It probably was after grief therapy. And I was just like, you know what? You can't sit around, you can't mope all day long. You know, life has to move on. And I'm pretty sure that my sister would be very disappointed if she's seen that I was sitting on a God-given talent because she passed away.
Yeah.
And after grief therapy, I think that was my light switch moment.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Just getting that help started you back down that track. But you threw something in, and it really caught my ear because you know the show Purpose Driven. And that's because I really believe we have a purpose and we have a destination. We have somewhere we're supposed to be. It's about what vehicle you use to get you to that destination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, you don't just travel overseas and be like, I'm gonna drive, because you can't drive across water. Like, it just doesn't happen. You got to get in the plane.
I wish
but
we could, because I don't want to get on no airplane, but I ain't going to have no other choice.
Well, take a boat. Take a boat. It's going to take longer.
If it goes down under?
If the boat go down under?
Then where I'm going to go?
To heaven, because ain't nothing you can do about it.
Oh, okay. Now, you know what?
Ain't nothing you can do about it.
No, you
ain't nothing we can do, nothing to stop nothing. You scared of flying? You scared of flying and scared of the ocean?
Whew, my first experience was a worse experience. And I said, Lord, you're going to have to prepare me for the next time I got to get on, because that turbulence is no joke.
So I will give you about the turbulence. It is no joke, but neither is none of the other stuff we do on our daily basis.
You're right. You're right.
So if he has somewhere for you to be, you gonna be there.
Yeah, I ain't got no other choice. I'm gonna remain obedient now. I'm gonna
matter of fact, since that was the thing, and you say you scared of the turbulence, when your two vehicles, the thing that gets you from point A to point B, look like they was broken into, some kind of fear happened because you did what? You went to somebody else's house.
Yeah, you're right.
You didn't feel comfortable in your own house. So that vehicle that you was in, that stability made you move around.
Come on now.
So let's talk about that. I want to talk about that for a second, because you started to get the light switch after therapy. And then you mentioned about the vehicle. Not one, but two. That made you go to another location. Like I said, God will move you wherever he wants you to go and where he needs you to. So can you tell us about that? What happened in that time period when you was like, I got to go over here, stay with my sister. You stayed there. Like, what was that like, processing through that moment?
It was very uncomfortable. Just very uncomfortable. It was
like
very
the turbulence?
No, the turbulence was worse.
But you was uncomfortable either way.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, seriously. Um yeah, uh that day was very, it was very a very uneasy feeling. I've never had a feeling like that before, to where it felt like almost feels like somebody's out to get me. It was that type of feeling.
Yeah.
Even though that may have not have been the case, but how would I know? I'm like, because I've never had anybody to go into my vehicles ever, like ever. And it's not even like they took anything out. They didn't take anything out. They just went in my glove compartments as if, and went through a few papers as if they were looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what threw me off. I'm like, okay, you didn't take anything out. What were you looking for?
Mm.
So yeah, so it spooked me, made me feel very uncomfortable, made me feel very uneasy. I called my sister. I was like, "Hey, girl, I need to come to your house." Like, cause I don't know what's going on, but I'm not gonna say, not gonna be in this house. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I just need to just get away for like a couple days or whatever. So, she's like, "Girl, not even a question. Come on." And I was like, "Okay." So I called my job, let my job know what was going on. Told them I need to take the rest of the day off because I need to make a drive to Georgia. And that was a good thing that I work from home because work from anywhere or whatever. So on the drive there, I mean, I I did have a talk with God. And I was just trying to understand, like, what is it that's going, like what's going on? Like, please let me know, like, what's going on. I was just very confused or whatever. And I'm like, could this possibly, I mean, I just be honest, like, could this possibly be my ex? Like, what is it? We had broke up. I broke up with him like a couple months prior. Could he be pissed off with me or what? I was like, I mean, I just didn't really know like what was going on, whatever. So I get there, stay there for a couple of days. And I was actually supposed to leave that Sunday. And as I'm leaving, I get literally probably 5 minutes up the road. And she calls me and she's like, Lynn. Like, yes, Lord. She's like, do you think that you should leave? And I was like, why you ask me that? She's like, I don't know. She was like, because what if, like, when you get there, what if somebody could be at your house or they could be watching? So why would you tell me something like that when I'm getting ready to get back on the road? I'm like, really? I was like, oh my gosh, okay, now you got me back uncomfortable where I was okay. Now I'm not. Now I'm really scared to go home. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll just turn around. I was like, I'll just stay like a couple more days or whatever. So she's like, okay. And then so I get back to her house, and then she was like, she said, you wanna she said, I forgot. Okay, so their prayer week was supposed to be the week prior to when I got there, but they changed it. They changed it to the following week of when I decided to stay additional time, right? So she's like, hey, you want to go to prayer tomorrow? And I was like, no. She was like, why not? I was like, what I need to go to prayer for? I do not want to go to church, girl. No. It's like, And at the time, I guess because church just wasn't a priority of mine anymore. Church was not on my mind anymore. I guess just from a bad experience from being in church, in a particular church for so long, and then just some things that happened. So I'm not even gonna lie to you, it deterred me away from going to church. I'm just like, you know what, these churches are just full of crap. I ain't got time for it no more. Like, if I want to worship God, I know how to worship him in my house. I ain't got to go to no church or whatever. Like, that was my train of thought, right? Yep. So anyway, so me and her, she is going back and forth. She's like, Lynn, just come. So I was like, just whatever. Like, I'll go. Just whatever, girl, because I'm getting tired of you asking me. Not even realizing God just had a whole entire plan at the end of the day. Yep. He had a whole entire plan. He talked to me every single day that whole entire week. And I always say every time that I would wake up in the mornings, he would always wake me up to particular songs. I remember one morning it was No Weapon Formed Against Me by Fred Hammond. I woke up to that song. Think another morning I woke up to, it's a song called Mercy Said No by CeCe Winans. Y'all never heard of it? Going, yes. Bless me right onto my soul. But it was just different songs that he woke me up to each morning to just kind of give me that encouragement, just let me know that he was there for me and he was going to help to work me through this and that he got me. And so, just from then, it was just like I just kind of just continued on with it, and I have had my weak moments, but for the most part, in my weak moments, of course I have like Nicole I can reach out to. She's so awesome. I love Nicole. Mama, huh?
Yeah, I say, yep, I agree.
Yeah, Nicole is awesome. But in my moments of weakness, he's always right there to be able to help to build me back up, build my strength back up or whatever. So, yeah.
Now, I'm curious because you're taking us somewhere. You are taking us somewhere. Now, you said you went back to church with your sister, like, hey, you need to come back. The timing was changed, so it was made available. Mm-hmm. And you even mentioned, like, when you had to call the job and all that. But speaking of the job, now you fast forward because you told us you got that after talking to God. You was like, nah, it's time to leave this job. And we're going to step out on faith and do this. Go back to the design that where you lost that focus. Things happen after that. And then all of a sudden you're looking like, what? Leave the job? Like, I haven't really been touching these arts and crafts. I ain't been in it since the first wine glass. Really, I had a couple successes, but is you drinking the wine that I made the cup with? Because you want me to do what? You want me to leave my stable job and just hop out on faith? How does that feel? How does that I go, okay, I'm just gonna leap that leap of faith, jump off the porch. Don't know where the ground is, but I'm leap of faith. How does that work?
You know what? Being honest, at the moment, I was so ready to leave my job where it was just like, okay, like that's what you want me to do. I ain't got no problem with that. None whatsoever. But and I'm just thinking everything is gonna be smooth sailing. I'm gonna get all of these orders and stuff because evidently, like, if God is wanting me to quit, like, he must got like, like, it must be really about to be booming. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, this about to be good. I was like, no, that ain't, no, not right now, no. So it was like in the moment, I was really, really, really excited to be able to leave my job. And I'm like, Lord, like, I'm going to have so much more time now to be able to do other things, that I want to focus on and that I want to do. And I'm like, I can really focus on my business and trying to build that up and everything. And I can have more time with my daughter. I can come and go as I please. I don't have to worry about these folks nagging me all day long, micromanage. I ain't got to worry about none of that no more. I'm like, this is just the best feeling in the world. But Lord, you didn't tell me that that you was going to test me the way that you did. Lord have mercy. Let me tell you something. Faith is not for the weak. It is not. I don't care what nobody say. And our faith is not tested when everything is going good. Our faith is tested in those trial moments. That is when it is tested. Because you know what it's like? Most people, let me think how I want to say this. Most people don't believe in faith when everything is going good. You forget about faith. Like that all goes out the door. Having trust in God, that all goes out the door. Everything. Why? I feel like I don't need him. Everything is good. Even if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, so what? As long as my bills are taken care of, I don't care about nothing else. Right? Okay. So, but the thing is that in those moments when everything turns around, now we need God. So now you need him. So now you want to have faith in him. You want to have trust in him for him to come through. Oh, okay. Okay. So then what if he don't come through? Then what? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So I had those moments. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, because like I said, I flew off the radar with him for a good little while. So he tested and he tested and he tested and he's still testing. But even in those tests, I always made sure that I show him and I prove to him that God, regardless of how things may look, regardless of my circumstance, regardless of the situation, regardless of even if I only had $2 in my, I ain't got $2 in my bank. I'm just saying that even if I only had $2 in my bank account, guess what? I'm still gonna trust you. I know that you got a plan for me. I know you got everything worked out for me. This stuff is not gonna happen in my time. I gotta wait on you and in your perfect timing, and everything's gonna fall into place. But if you can't trust me now with just this that I have, what makes you think I can trust you with way more that I have in store for you? I can't even trust you with a little bit of faith. So you expect me to trust you with a lot? Okay. That's when those moments of test comes in. My personal opinion. That's just my opinion. That's my experience. That's been my experience. So.
Well, you're not alone, because we've all had it, whether we acknowledge it or know the exact moment. We've all had it. So your faith was tested.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're on the other side of that. How is things going now with the business?
I still pause. God still got it on pause.
But you ain't.
Okay, let me clarify, because I don't want to make it seem like absolutely nothing is happening. That's not the case. Let me clarify myself. Things are not necessarily taking off in my customizing business, but God is moving in other ways. Okay. So he has begun to bring in other opportunities, as such as this, to be able to help me to share my story and my testimony with others. So it's just a little bit of a detour that he's doing with me. So it's not so much of a Lynn, like, it's not like I don't want to see your customizing business taking off, but that's not what the focus is going to be. I need for you to speak to my people. Ooh. That's it. So that's the opportunities. It's a part of the opportunities that have been presented. That's a position that he's put me in right now. So, and I have to remain obedient to him. Do as he says, even though this is way out of my comfort zone, like very much out of my comfort. Like, Lord, I don't like talking in front. Not like talking in front of people. Like, you gonna do it? I'm like, okay, yes I am. But I still don't like it though. But yeah.
You could have fooled us, because you don't seem like you uncomfortable at all. And it's funny. It's funny because you said that detour out of your comfort zones. That turbulence you talked about earlier. Like, I ain't doing that again. That turbulence. Now let me make sure I got this, because purpose driven. You have a purpose. It's gonna happen regardless if you want to. You already told countless times where you were put in positions that you probably weren't comfortable with, but God wanted you there and you had to do it anyway. And I don't want nobody to miss the purpose driven that you've done. Mm-hmm. Now, you started out, based on what you say we're in the car, you started out just cruising down the street, you and your medical job, having a blast, just cruising. Then God threw you a yield sign and said, hey, think you can do something with that glass over there. You're very inspirational. Just a little yield. You look both ways. I'm going to go out there and do it. Mm-hmm. And you just kept cruising, went through the yield sign, doing everything else. But on your path, God gave you, because he touched everything he said. He gave you that stability you was holding on to. Mm-hmm. Then he put a train in your plate. All of a sudden, the train start coming. You sitting at the tracks. He hit you with grief. Now you got to sit there and wait for this grief to pass. But like anything, when somebody come to a train track, we never know how long it is. We be looking, counting the cars.
Mm-hmm.
We got somewhere to go, but we gotta wait on the train. Train finally clears, you get through grief. You're back on the road again. All of a sudden, you had a stop sign. Because now you uncomfortable. Somebody that went in your car, you got to change environments, going to your sister's house, you at the stop sign, but it ain't a regular 4-way stop sign. It's a bunch of cars going away because it's a parade. You just sitting at the stop sign, not realizing that God wanted you to turn right and join the parade. That's why you went with your sister. Because now you're marching down with the parade, but it's not the regular marching. You grew up in church with me. We marching with the Lord now. And then he made you remember, hey, I need you to go back though. You forgot your car. You still need that. So you went back and got your car because you went through all the phases. You were stable. You went through grief. You went through being uncomfortable. And now he got you in a new vehicle. And it's testing your faith. This time though, you don't realize this vehicle. The whole time you was going through this process, God had you on the way to the airport. And now he's testing your faith like no other because you back in this airplane, you said you'll never get in. And that turbulence is rocky because God tests your faith when you're down. And man, it is a test, just like you said. And you was uncomfortable, you're not feeling good, but you didn't know the one thing. God was flying the plane and you the co-pilot. While he flying the plane, he can't concentrate on the loudspeaker. He needs you to talk to the passengers. That's why you on this show right now. This is why you at cruising altitude. You don't feel the turbulence. That's why you ain't even worried about it. You uncomfortable now because he got you talking to people. But the people back there felt the turbulence. We feel it now and we uncomfortable. And we need you to talk us to get to the destination. And you are not just a creator because of what you can make with glasses, with t-shirts. You're the creator because of the words that come out your mouth that you're placing on people's heart that's helping them get inspired, motivated to live in their purpose as well. So no, your closing ain't done. He just wants you to put that to the side because he needs you to be more available to him. That's why you're sitting with him in the cockpit. It's a closed door. Ain't nobody talking but you and him. He took all the stuff that made you stable because now you're available sitting next to him. He gonna fly the plane while you do the talking. That's all he needed you to do. And you're doing it. So yeah, you can say you're uncomfortable, but that's why you look so natural over there doing all this talking. Because man, I'm blessed just talking to you. I don't know no other way to, but I will ask you this. I will ask you this. Because people can see you on the show like this. But somebody out there is watching. Hey, we already know that. They all the way in Malaysia. They tuned in from the beginning. But I gotta ask, because somebody else out there wants to know, how can somebody get in touch with Lynn so that they can get more information, whether it be talking to you, just going back and forth, or maybe, hey, want some services. They want your custom designs because, hey, this person that wants to connect with you, they in the back of the plane, but you ain't got over the loudspeaker yet and told them how to get in touch with you. So tell us, how can we get in touch with Miss Lynn?
I'm sorry, you got me a little flustered over here. Okay. I can be found on TikTok, Instagram, here on Facebook, all things customized, #2. And or if you would like to inbox me here on Facebook as well, I do not mind speaking with others. I keep everything confidential between just me and you. And whatever it is that you would like to discuss, whether if it needs, if you need some type of inspiration, you need some type of empowerment, if there's just some other things that you want to talk about, just want to get some things off your chest or whatever, feel free to be able to message me directly on here. I don't mind. If there's anything that I feel within that I need to share with you, I most absolutely will do that as well.
Now, don't worry, everybody. I'm going to put all that information into the description below on the YouTube channel, Strategic Dope. If y'all have not followed, like, and subscribe, I will be dropping that down below. But, man, you gave so much. I know one thing is going to happen. I know one thing. It's got to happen. we got to bring you back on the show because I'm ready to see the blessings that's coming your way. Because the stuff that you gave us tonight, the nuggets, the jewels, the whatever you want to call it, bars, fire, everything you gave us tonight. Whew, I know you're going somewhere, and I can't wait to hear the rest. I know everybody else can't wait to hear this, but we got to bring you back on for one.
Absolutely.
For two, I do this to every single body.
Yes, I appreciate you bringing me on.
I do this to everybody, so I got to do it to you.
Thank you. It was
for that person that's out there that's going through one of the different obstacles you've gone through, from stability to grief to just being confused to just being uncomfortable to just having your faith tested, just all those different things. Somebody out there that's listening, what's that inspiration or motivation that you would give them to help them know to keep going, that the light is big on the other side of the tunnel? What's that inspiration you would give them?
In your moments if you're in your moments of trials, in your moments of weakness, in your moments of fear and worry, I always know that God is right there and that he never leaves our side, and that you can pray to him, you can cry out to him, and he will always be there to listen, to help build you up, to give you strength. And just know that through everything that we go through, it's all a part of destiny. It's all a part of a much bigger plan. Even though you may not understand what that plan is, what that purpose is, just know that God will never fail you, that he will always be right there with you, and that he will help to bring you through as long as you continue to just have trust and have faith in him and never give up.
Whew. Amen. I'm not even putting nothing behind that. That's what they needed. This is what the people needed. I'm not even. You know what? I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm not even. I normally have something after that, but I don't. I'm leaving that like it is. The people. Amen. That's that faith we all need. We all need that faith. All I can say is, man, thank you, because it's been a blessing just having you on and everything that you've been so transparent about your life and giving us. I gotta say, on behalf of everybody, I gotta say thank you. You get your flowers while you're here, because your testimony is amazing. It touched me. I know it touched others out there, because you are a blessing and many blessings are coming your way.
I received that. Maybe take a praise break run around here now.
I wish it was a way we could speed forward through time so we can come back and be like, what happened? What's going on? But I know it's coming.
It is coming.
Like you said, be patient. Be patient. I'll be patient.
Yes, absolutely.
No. But seriously, I want to thank you for coming on. Like, don't go nowhere, because I want to talk to you right after the show. So stay with me. But, again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gotta get you back on. Ooh.
Yes, absolutely.
No, but stay with me. I'll be with you in just a second. But until then, stay blessed, and I'll see you, Lynn, on the other side.
I'm back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change. And just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchanged something and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts, because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt, because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy, because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life, because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you, with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in the box. Society tries to put you in the box, but you can't be in the box. How can you be in a box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me, because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.